And it looked like the Indiana Fever front office is in serious trouble for revealing some major information. Guys, how come I'm not seeing no scouts, bro? Where the scouting department? Do they even have a scouting department? You mean to tell me, as I look through this thing right here, y'all done made all them, well, y'all done made, hold on, you lied to me.
What if the single greatest thing to happen to the Indiana Fever was also exposing the organization's most embarrassing secret? The world has been captivated by the Caitlin Clark effect. Sold-out arenas, viewership records shattered, and merchandise flying off the shelves at a pace never before seen in the WNBA. The Indiana Fever, a team long dwelling in obscurity, was suddenly the center of the sports universe. From the outside, it looks like a fairy tale. A generational talent arrives and instantly transforms a struggling franchise into a powerhouse of attention and revenue. But behind this glittering curtain of unprecedented success, a deep-seated rot is threatening to consume the entire operation from within. The very foundation of the team is built on a lie, and every sold-out game, every record-breaking broadcast, only shines a brighter light on a failure so profound, it threatens to waste a once-in-a-generation talent before she even gets a real chance to win.
This is the team that has blown double-digit leads all season long. We just lost to the goddamn Washington Mystics. Terrible, man. That is a bad basketball team. They got two young, rising stars. They're rookies. We got dominated by Sonia Citron and Kiki Area-Finn. They was just taking math class and sociology and chemistry 3 months ago. And they came out there and dominated us.
Before Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever were a ghost franchise. They were a team defined by years of losing seasons and empty seats, a forgotten name in a league fighting for national attention. Winning the 2024 WNBA draft lottery wasn't just a stroke of luck, it was a resurrection. It was the moment the franchise cashed in a golden ticket, securing the rights to the most transcendent college basketball player in history. The plan was simple: draft Clark and let the pieces fall into place. And from a business perspective, the plan wasn't just a success, it was a revolution. Overnight, ticket sales exploded.
I mean, the bottom line, though, is Caitlin Clark is missing, and that is showing, and I think everybody is missing her, including myself. She has carved out this really big niche in the WNBA. A lot of fans have come to see her, and she unfortunately has just been plagued with injury after injury, and the Indiana Fever have had to try to tread water or keep afloat, and fans are trying not to lose hope until and if she returns, because Caitlin Clark is the reason that a lot of people, myself included, are just so drawn to the WNBA, so drawn to her play style. And I gotta say, I really feel for the rest of the team.
Games were moved to larger arenas to accommodate the unprecedented demand. Clark's number 22 jersey became the highest-selling jersey in draft night history for any sport, period. Her professional debut shattered viewership records that had stood for over 2 decades. The Indiana Fever were no longer just a basketball team. They were a cultural phenomenon, and their billionaire owner, Herb Simon, was reaping the financial rewards of a lottery win that was paying out like a billion-dollar jackpot. For the fans and the league, the expectation was cemented. This wasn't just the beginning of a good team. This was the dawn of a dynasty.
Are in the process of building a $78 million practice facility. The Indiana Fever consistently draw over 16,000 fans to their home games. The Indiana Fever, amongst the top franchises in the league when it comes to merchandise sales. The Indiana Fever, now you know, marketing campaign. Kelly Krauskopf saying she wants to be the Apple of the WNBA. You would think, after all of these accolades, after all of the speculation, after all of the now you know, you'd think that we'd have a scouting department, right?
But the roar of the crowd couldn't drown out the sound of the foundation cracking. While the business was booming, the on-court product was a chaotic, frustrating mess. The team developed a disturbing habit of building huge double-digit leads, only to watch them completely evaporate in spectacular fourth-quarter collapses. They suffered embarrassing losses to some of the league's worst teams, like the Washington Mystics, leaving fans and analysts baffled. How could a team with a superstar as clutch and intelligent as Caitlin Clark look so utterly lost when the game was on the line? It was more than just bad luck, it was a pattern.
You lying to me. I think they merchandise sales was up like 300%. Y'all done made all them millions off CC Effect. And y'all ain't hired no damn scouts. Caitlin's in deep trouble. Oh, it's looking real spooky. You mean to tell me y'all done made all the millions, bro? Sold all them damn jerseys, and y'all do not have a scouting department? What the fuck? You mean to tell me? Hold on. Are you serious right now?
The team looked unprepared, poorly coached, and alarmingly thin on talent beyond their star rookie. Player rotations made little sense, with key veterans inexplicably benched in crucial moments. The offense often devolved into Clark trying to create magic while her teammates stood and watched. It became painfully clear that this wasn't a well-oiled machine. It was a superstar desperately trying to drag a deeply flawed roster across the finish line, and it wasn't working. The hype was real, but the wins weren't following, and the first whispers began something is deeply wrong in Indiana.
This Lambert chick, man. You're always picking up these randoms, dog. Like they're going to Walmart. Hey, yo, can you play? All right, I got you. Go on a team. Like, come on, man. I'm sick of these players. We're at the point where you just need a body. But I just hope she puts a better performance than Sims did, because Sims was god-awful. Sims looked like she never played basketball before. She was horrible. Somehow we have Turner on the team. I don't get it. But yeah, this new player, I looked her up. Average 6.8 in college. Not impressive, man. I think she's just a body.
As questions about the team's performance grew louder, the organization had a shiny answer ready. They pointed proudly to their brand new $50 million practice facility. On the surface, it was the perfect PR move, a gleaming symbol of owner Herb Simon's commitment to winning. It was a palace of basketball, equipped with state-of-the-art everything, designed to show the world that the Fever were a first-class organization. But it was all a masterful misdirection. Investing in buildings is the easy part. It's a tangible asset that looks great in promotional videos.
We lost by 1 point to them. The third quarter, they went on a 19-0 run. You hear me? Which put them up by 12. By the fourth quarter, they was up by 12 points. That's ridiculous. And then let me say this. What sense does it make for Stephanie Jigsaw White to take out Lexi and Sophie at the same time? You hear me? At the same time. Her rotations don't make no sense to me. And if it don't make sense to me, that allows me to think otherwise. She is fixing these games. The organization is in on it too as well. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, like I said, they just dragging us along to keep making money. Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC, she ain't coming back this season.
The hard part, the part that actually wins championships, is investing in people, investing in systems, investing in a front office, and that's where Simon's commitment seemed to end. He had built a beautiful, expensive car, but had forgotten to hire any mechanics or engineers. The facility was a facade, a hollow monument to an owner who understood the appearance of investment, but seemed to have no grasp of the substance required to build a true contender. He was spending money on the hardware while completely ignoring the software, and the entire system was beginning to crash.
You'd think that we'd have some bodies that sole job, the sole purpose, their sole designation within this franchise is just to sit in a dark room watching hours and hours and hours of film of players overseas. You'd think at least that's what Apple would probably do, right? If Apple was running the Indiana Fever, they'd probably invest in something like that.
The truth finally came out, not from an investigative report, but from the mouth of the team's own head coach in a moment of shocking, unintentional honesty. During a press conference, Christy Sides was asked a routine question about the team's process for finding and vetting replacement players amid a string of injuries. Her answer sent shockwaves through the WNBA community. She admitted live and on the record that the Indiana Fever do not have a formal, dedicated scouting department. Their entire process for finding professional basketball talent consisted of watching a few clips online, making some phone calls, and this was the part that was truly unbelievable, relying on their own active players for scouting reports.
Right, it's all the above. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections. Bree and especially has been super helpful in this. She's got a lot of contacts overseas who have seen Kyra, for example, play a lot overseas. Teammates that she's had that are over there that played with her.
Now, it was at that moment right there, everybody antennas went off. She said, Bree Turner actually discovered Kyra Lambert. Hold up, wait up a minute. How the hell do Bree Turner discover her player? She's no scout. She's no recruiter. How the hell? She's supposed to be focusing on the season of bad she playing. But y'all got Bree Turner scouting players?
She specifically named veteran Brianna Turner as being super helpful in evaluating a potential signing due to her contacts overseas. Think about that, an active player whose sole focus should be on preparing for the next game was doubling as a key part of the front office's talent evaluation. This isn't just unconventional, it's a level of amateurism that is almost unthinkable in modern professional sports. It was the smoking gun everyone had been looking for, confirming that the Indiana Fever weren't just flawed, they were a fundamentally broken organization operating without one of the most basic components of a winning franchise.
I think that this Indiana Fever team, taking Caitlin Clark serious, taking the window that they have with Caitlin Clark as serious as they possibly can, you'd think that they would invest in some overseas scouting, right? Right. It seems as if the overseas scouting department, some YouTube highlights, some clips, and a couple phone calls with a person on the other end saying, trust me, bro, trust me. Hey, is she good? Trust me, bro, trust me, she's good. Oh, that's all I needed to see here. Is she good? Trust me, bro, trust me, she's good.
The direct consequence of having no scouts was immediate and disastrous, chaotic roster management. When injuries inevitably struck, the front office wasn't prepared with a list of vetted prospects. They were sent into a blind panic. They scrambled to sign players on 7-day hardship contracts, and the process was less about strategic acquisition and more about finding a warm body to fill a jersey. The signing of Kyra Lambert became the symbol of this dysfunction. Coach Sides openly confessed that she didn't even know much about the player they had just brought in to play meaningful minutes. It validated the worst fears of the fan base.
So, Indiana Fever signs another strawberry shortcake Lambert. Her name is Kyra Lambert. She had previous experience playing at Greece. Last time she played college 2001, so she's a little older. Where do we getting these randoms from, man? Like, come on. 5'9", strawberry shortcake. So we get another shortcake. Sims and her are about the same height. Dude, they love some shorties, man. Like, you need to get some taller players, man. At least 5'10" and above.
The team's roster moves felt like a desperate late-night trip to Walmart grabbing whatever was on the shelf to plug a hole. With no regard for quality or fit, these last-minute signings rarely worked out, disrupting team chemistry and often proving to be liabilities on the court. It wasn't building a team, it was patchwork maintenance on a sinking ship. This phone-a-friend approach to scouting ensured that the team would never have the depth or cohesion needed to survive the grind of a professional season, leaving their superstar to bear an impossible burden every single night.
Stephanie White, you are supposed to be a defensive coach. We gave away almost 90 points to a team that is like 11th in the league in scoring. It's only like 13 teams. It ain't even that many teams. And they are at the bottom of the league in offense, and we let them come out there and do whatever they wanted offensively. Sonia Citron dominated our wing players. This is embarrassing. Kelsey Mitchell is not a clutch player. When the game is on the line, bro, she just gagged a wide open layup to cut the lead to 1. When the money is on the line in clutch time, you cannot rely on Kelsey Mitchell. This is embarrassing, man.
What makes this level of incompetence so utterly tragic is the ticking clock in professional sports. Having a generational talent on a rookie contract is the ultimate competitive advantage. It's a limited, precious window, typically 4 or 5 years, where a franchise has a superstar for a fraction of their market value. This allows smart teams to use that saved salary cap space to surround their young star with elite, expensive veteran talent, creating a championship contender almost overnight. The Indiana Fever are letting this golden opportunity rust away.
Indiana Fever, get it done. The size we've been needing, a 6'7" tower, man. We need it because it's limited. Get her, put her in the center of the paint, man. Mentor her, whatever y'all need to do. I don't even know how to say her name, man. No disrespect to you, ma'am. But we need you over here in Indiana, man. We need a 6'7" tower because there's not a lot of y'all in the league, man. Fever, damn, man. I don't know how we gonna get it done. I don't know. But get it done, Indiana Fever. This is what we need.
Every season they squander with their amateurish front office structure is a season of Caitlin Clark's prime that they can never get back. While well-run franchises meticulously plan for this window years in advance, the Fever are making it up as they go. They are trying to win a Super Bowl without a general manager, a World Series without scouts. The failure to build a competent roster around Clark isn't just poor management. It's a historic blunder that could rob the sport of seeing one of its greatest ever talents compete for championships when she has the best chance to win them.
The Fever should really consider making a trade, and I'm telling you, get rid of Brianna Turner. I don't know why she's on the team for. She's not significant to the team, so it won't hurt team chemistry. And go after Cardoso. Cardoso hates Chicago Sky. You can see it in her face. I'm telling you, you could reunite her without trading Dantes, by the way. Get Cardoso and Dantes on the same team. They got that Brazilian connection. And you can think about that connection with Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston and Camilla were both teammates at South Carolina, that Dawn Staley connection. To me, they actually would play well with each other. Think about it. You got...
The rot that starts in the front office inevitably seeps down to the sidelines, and head coach Christy Sides is the one left to answer for it all. She was handed a generational talent, but also a deeply flawed and hastily assembled roster. Her in-game decisions have come under intense fire from fans and critics alike. Baffling player rotations have become a signature of the Fever's late-game collapses, with players who are performing well suddenly finding themselves on the bench. The team's defense, supposedly a point of emphasis for the coach, consistently falls apart in crucial moments, unable to get stops when they matter most. While it's easy to point the finger at the coach, it raises a deeper question. Is she the architect of the failure, or just a symptom of it? When your front office can't provide you with the necessary depth and talent, and you're forced to integrate unknown players on 7-day contracts, coaching becomes less about strategy and more about survival. The chaos on the court is a direct reflection of the chaos behind the scenes, leaving the coach in an impossible position, taking the blame for a fire that started in the owner's office. Perhaps nothing illustrates the team's organizational blindness better than their handling of veteran Sophie Cunningham. Here is a player who embodies everything the young Fever team desperately lacks: grit, championship experience, and a reputation as a tough, reliable defender and clutch shooter. She's been to the WNBA finals and knows what a winning culture looks like from the inside. She is the exact type of player you should have on the floor to guide a young superstar through tough moments. Yet her time on the court has been bafflingly inconsistent. She'll be glued to the bench during critical defensive possessions or late-game stretches where her steady hand is needed most. Instead, minutes are often given to less proven players or the latest emergency signing the coach barely knows. It's a perfect microcosm of the Fever's dysfunction. They have a clear solution to some of their most glaring problems sitting right there on their bench, but they seem too disorganized and strategically confused to even recognize it. This isn't just about questionable rotations, it's about a fundamental inability to identify and utilize the valuable assets they actually possess. And so all of this organizational failure, the lack of scouts, the panic signings, the coaching confusion, lands squarely on the shoulders of one 22-year-old rookie. Caitlin Clark wasn't just drafted to be a scorer, she was drafted to be a savior. Because the roster around her is so thin, she has to do everything every single night. She bears an unprecedented usage rate, forced to create nearly all of the team's offense, while being the primary focus of every opponent's defensive game plan. This isn't just mentally exhausting, it's physically dangerous. A player carrying that immense a load, absorbing that much contact and defensive pressure without a reliable supporting cast to alleviate it, is at a significantly higher risk of fatigue and injury. The organization isn't just jeopardizing wins in the present, they are risking the long-term health of their billion-dollar asset. They are running a Ferrari engine at redline every single night without ever taking it in for maintenance, hoping it doesn't break down. But that's not a strategy, it's a gamble with a generational talent's career. The most infuriating part of this entire debacle is that it isn't happening because the team can't afford to do things the right way. Owner Herb Simon is a real estate mogul with a net worth of over $5 billion. For him, the cost of a fully staffed professional scouting department, a few $100,000 a year, is less than a rounding error. It's the equivalent of a regular person deciding not to buy a cup of coffee. This isn't an oversight. It's a deliberate business philosophy. The organization is choosing to maximize its short-term profits from the Clark phenomenon by cutting corners on the essential unseen costs of building a winner. They're happy to collect the revenue from sold-out arenas and record merchandise sales, but they refuse to make the small, critical investments that would turn that revenue into championships. It's a penny-wise and dynasty-foolish approach that prioritizes immediate cash over long-term glory, and it's a stunning insult to a player who is single-handedly making the franchise millions. This malpractice extends far beyond the court in Indiana. It's a betrayal of the millions of new fans Caitlin Clark has brought to the WNBA. These fans are paying premium prices for tickets, buying jerseys, and investing their time and emotional energy into the league for the first time. They were promised a transcendent star, and they got one. But they were also implicitly promised a professional, competitive product. Instead, they are being shown an organization so inept it borders on farce. This doesn't just make the Fever look bad, it damages the credibility of the entire league at its moment of greatest opportunity. The WNBA is betting its future growth on the Clark effect, and its most visible team is being run like a high school program. The Fever's incompetence is an anchor tied to the league's rocket ship, holding it back from its full potential and threatening to turn away a new generation of fans who came to see a revolution, not a circus. The story of the 2024 Indiana Fever is a cautionary tale. It's a story of a franchise that stumbled into a billion-dollar opportunity and proved to be completely unprepared to handle it. The shiny new facility, the record-breaking sales, the sold-out crowds, it all masks a rotten core. An organization without a scouting department is not a serious organization. Relying on players to perform the duties of a front office is a dereliction of duty. This isn't a coaching problem or a player problem. It's a systemic failure that starts and ends at the very top with an ownership that has prioritized the profits of the Caitlin Clark effect over the process of building a winner. The clock is ticking, growing louder with every blown lead and every wasted game. Caitlin Clark has brought a supernova of attention to Indiana, but stars that bright don't stay in broken orbits forever. She has the talent to change the league, but if the organization around her refuses to change itself, her legacy in Indiana won't be one of championships won, but of the greatest opportunity a franchise has ever wasted.